This video will show how to use the printf statement to output integer and real numbers. To begin with, we are going to use the template that you've already seen in previous programs. And if you haven't seen it, go back and look at the Hello World video. So this has comments up at the top, introduction to %d and %f. %d we're going to use as a format specifier for integers, and %f will be used for real numbers. Okay, so we've got the standard pound includes, the compiler directives up there, and our body of our main program. So let's begin by looking at how we would print some values that are type integer. So we'll use printf for integer values. So we'll be looking at two types of information in this program. Okay, so let's start with our regular printf, printf, and to keep this at its minimum, the way that you would output an integer value is to use a spaceholder or a format specifier, and it is %d. Okay, so we'll use %d, and let's use a \n to go to a new line when we're finished. So we're just going to print a constant value, 5,280, so we're outputting semicolon. Now, just with this tiny amount, let's go ahead and build this program and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'll click the Build Solution program, and it will go off and compile. It has compiled. Now we'll run the program and see what the output looks like. The output window has appeared, and you can see that this printf statement produces the value 5,280 on the screen. Now let's continue. If we want to specify a width for our output, instead of just taking the default of whatever %d will choose, then we can set that. So let's do another printf statement. Okay, and this time double quote, let's do %8d. So by putting a number to the left of the d, then that will indicate that you want that many print positions on the screen. So the number will be right justified this time in an output space that is 8 characters in width. So %8d \n double quote comma, and then the same number, 5280 right paren semicolon. Now let's see how this looks. So we will build it. Now it's succeeded, so let's bring up our output window. Now this time you'll notice that the second printf, we have 4 spaces to the left of the number 5280. So the total width of this output is 8 spaces. So you can control the width of your output by putting a number between the % and the d for your output for integer values. Let's look at another example. Let's do another printf. Okay, so let's do %3d and \n double quote comma, and the same number, 5280. What will happen in this case? Okay, we know that our number has 4 digits, but we're specifying that we only want the output field to have a width of 3. What's going to happen? All right, so let's build it. Okay, the build succeeded. When we execute this, then we'll have 3 lines of output. Okay, so here are the lines, and let's dispense with that. Oops, make it smaller so we can see our output. All right, so now here are the 3 lines of output. In the first one, we have just a plain old %d with no width specified. So the system will pick the minimum number of print positions it needs, which is 4. In the second case, we want the output to be in 8 positions on the screen. So we have 4 spaces to the left and then the 4-digit number. In the third case, even though we have told it we only want a width of 3, then it overrides what we want because it needs 4 positions to print the output. So whenever you specify a field width that happens to be less than the number, then the system will override your choice and output the number that it needs to. Now, let's go on and let's output more than one number per line. Okay, so let's print more than one number per line. So now we'll just do a printf statement where we'll output 2 integer values. So we have the printf, okay, double quote, and again, keeping this at a minimum, let's do %d, and another well, let's put a field width in here because I don't want the numbers to run together. So let's do a percent 5D, and let's do a percent 6D. Okay, then a \n to go to new line, double quote, and comma. Now, I have specified that I want to output two integer values. The first one will be right justified in a 5 width field. The second number will be right justified in an output of 6 spaces. We'll use the same number here, 5280, and our second number, let's make that 1670. Okay, then we'll put a right paren there, semicolon. So now we are going to output two numbers. Both of them will be on the same line. And the first one will have a width of 5, the second and 6, so there'll be some spacing between them. Okay, we'll build, and we will execute. So in this third line, the fourth printf statement, you'll see that we actually do output two values on the same line. And that is what you can do with output with printf. So if you have several integer values that you want to output, then you just specify a %d for each of them. And if you optionally want to give them a width, then you can put the width in here as well. In our next example, let's add some annotations to this output so we can see what the numbers are. And it's okay. You can add in words, you can put in tabs, and other stuff here as well as just the field specifiers, as long as it's still the printf statement. So let's do a printf. Okay, double quote, and now let's add some text. So let's say feet per mile equals, and a space, and then we'll do the %d. All right, then let's say and yards per mile equal, and another %d. Okay, \n, double quote, comma, 5280 and 1760, right paren, semicolon. So that line got a little bit long. So this is then going to output some additional information. It'll write feet per mile equals. Now notice I have a space between equals and %d, and I have another space over here. So that will ensure that the number has a space on both sides. Alternately, it's easier to read this way, but alternately, you could go ahead and put a field width in here if you want. That's fine. Then we have the two numbers. So the first number, 5280, that will be substituted for this first %d. Okay, the second %d here is a placeholder for the second number, 1760. So that's how you pair these things up. So each time you want to output a number, you put a placeholder, and then after you close out your quote string and a comma, then you list the numbers over here on the right, separated by commas, and of course closed with semicolon. Let's take a look at what output we get here. So we'll build this. It is built. Now we will run. And let's look at the output. So you'll see now that this last printf statement, it did print out feet per mile equals, and then the %d placeholder for 5280 is replaced by 5280. And the other %d over here on the right is replaced by the number 1760. Right? So that's how you can output values that are of type integer using the %d field specifier. Okay, I'm going to close this video here, and then we'll come back and do another video that will show how to output values that are of type real.